Had a little technical issues. We invite Bobby, then we will do probably our last full slate live stream of the season. Let's see. Talk about some football too, because Bobby said that there was some news in regarding whatchamacallit. Some news regarding football or something like that. Check it out. We have a chat up here. Oh, okay. Got my lineups so I can share what I'm doing tonight. I don't want to do that. Where's Bobby? Hold on. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Hey,
how's it going, man?
So it's the last baseball live stream, I guess.
Yeah, I might throw one in during the playoffs for something, but
but I mean, I meant for a full slate.
Yeah, for sure, for a full slate. So just real quickly before we get into the slate, I'm gonna just vent that I'm very frustrated that I think like 6 golfers or 7 golfers are even or worse than the day. Everybody's shooting like 5 under, and I have every one of them scattered throughout my lineups. And not only that, these were all guys who were 4 under or 5 under to start the day one at the end of day one. So I thought I was in good shape. Zalatoris shoots 11 under, and I'm like, this is over. I'm gonna cruise my way in, and nope, not the case. Anyway,
not me either.
Our guys just didn't let us. The general let us down.
The general got slapped in the face.
Yeah, slapped me in the face. I felt like
the general slapped us in the face. That
yeah.
is true.
All right, so what are we doing here? I've got a pretty strong.
Dude, I know what I'm doing. Okay.
You go with what you're doing.
I'm playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm playing Kansas City, and I'm playing the Dodgers. That's what I'm up to in my handbelt stuff. That's for sure.
No Toronto for you today?
No.
I have Toronto by far and away number 1. So they're by far my heaviest owned stack on both sites. But not by far on DraftKings. They're close on DraftKings. I like Minnesota a ton as well.
Wait, I lied. Hang on.
Wait, you do have
finish up.
I like Minnesota. So I have them in order. I have Toronto number 1. Minnesota has the value that makes them easier to play on DraftKings, but they're going to be pretty well owned. Just keep that in mind. KC, I like a lot, especially the value Santana. And where I'm double spending up at pitcher, I'm trying to get Perez into those lineups because there's so much value in the outfield anyway. So I can use those to do my stuff with KC. I have the Dodgers as sort of the next team, followed by Boston. I'm a little concerned about being underweight on Boston here. That's my biggest fear, because I do like them. They right close to the other ones for me. The Boston, and then as I mentioned earlier about the Yankees one-offs, that worries me. I also think there might be merit to playing this Abbott kid for 4K because I don't love the pitching on this slate. And I think that like in the minors, the guy had nearly a 30% strikeout rate. His strikeout rate has been terrible so far in the majors, but it's always been sporadic and whatever. I think they'll let him throw 75 pitches. So if you want to do something weird, it's something I haven't done yet, but I'm debating possibly doing it. That I think that there is, maybe the upside for him. I have more Erod than I initially planned to, and I'm trying to whittle that down and spread it out a little bit more into the to Marco Gonzalez, who I also have a good amount of. And then I actually do have like a Kershaw lineup. I think if I'm playing Kershaw, though, I want to play him with Alcantara or Lynn. But I think I'm going to end up with like 10% Kershaw. I'm going to probably end up with 30+% Alcantara. Maybe on FanDuel, I'll be like 70% Alcantara. 15% Gray. I don't really love Gray as much as when I'm dug into some more stuff, but I have him at 15%. I have 15% McGill. Another one who I don't have that I can probably shift some of my Erod exposure over to is Anoa. I don't love Anoa as a pitcher, but it's a pretty weak lineup that he's facing, and you've got the best pitchers umpire in baseball history, probably. In that, I don't know about history, but in the Mets game, so with Bill Miller. So I'm kind of flirting with the idea of using some Anoa. That's where I'm at, pretty much.
I lied in this respect that in my well, I didn't lie. I said in my hand build stuff I didn't play any Toronto, but in my MME builds I'm getting like 20% of that.
Okay. Yeah, I really like them. I think there's multiple routes. I think the ownership is actually going to be. Let me just see what I've got updated on my projected ownership on them. I think it's going to be lower than a team that has this much of a higher total. Like you're going to have guys in the teens and not in the higher range. And I'm making sure to try and include Biggio, Bichette, or Espinal in there just to try to get the lower ownership, lower on part of the stack.
You think Chris Taylor plays?
I think if I had to, it's hard to know because I'm just guessing on Gavin Lux's injury. That was a bad fall. You see what they did at Dodger Stadium? He crashed into the wall the other night. They put the what you do after the dead bodies there. They put it on the wall at Dodger Stadium, and all the team went out and tapped it before the game as a joke because he crashed so hard into the wall.
No, what I meant was that because they got scratched last night, Chris Taylor.
And then he pinch hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to figure out what to do without Lux because I think they were trying to play Lux, and then I think they realizing he was not going to be a go. That's where the scrambling came in.
Well, you just kind of messed with me because there was one stack that I was going to play in a hand build, and now you told me about an umpire. Now I don't feel like playing him anymore.
It was the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the argument for the Mets. They don't have my favorite bat in there. I have that game more as a mini thing. I do like Alonso, but I really did like the price on Conforto, and he was my favorite value guy. I actually used him.
I was listening to that today.
Yeah, he made the most sense to me. And for what it's worth, my Dodger stack that's in one of my big ones on DraftKings does have Chris Taylor in it currently as a placeholder. And I think both getting the other guy who I didn't have any, like I'm not on San Diego, but if Tatis plays, I'm just going to play him at 5K, you know. I have more Seager than I do of him, but I want Tatis in some of my big stuff. There's just, I mean, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like the guy is a monster and he's 5K, you know, I just think it's too cheap of a price tag. The other guy who I want to get to possibly, I'm sort of flirting with the idea, is DeScalfani, but it depends on the San Diego lineup, which we're not going to know until later.
Right.
But you could use John Gray, and then if San Diego's lineup comes out with just total garbage, which would really be an FU to the Dodgers by them, and that's completely on the table. There's only San Diego's rival has always been us. It's never been us. Partly why they hate us too is because they're not our rival. Our rival is the Giants, obviously. And I could see them doing like an FU move. We're not going to play any of our starter kind of a thing. Not that they're going to try and lose, just that they wouldn't put their best foot forward. So that I mean, look, it's tough enough as it is, and now we can't even get the full lineups for some of these teams like early enough. And sort of my issue with like I have some Angel one-offs like Goslin and Stassi, but I don't know who's going to end up playing for the Angels, and they won't tell us till like an hour before the game. So unfortunately, you might have to give up some value. The Dodger lineup is out, and Chris Taylor is batting 7th. There is no Will Smith. It's because it's Kershaw pitching. Of course, there's no Will Smith. Mookie Betts, Seager is batting 2nd. I don't know why all these projections had him 5th. Trey Turner 3rd, Justin Turner 4th, Muncy 5th, Pollock 6th, Taylor 7th, Barnes 8th, Kershaw pitching.
What is Turner's price nowadays? Oh, I got him actually already.
Justin?
Yeah, it's 51.
Right. Justin, it's interesting they moved him back. He hit a home run last night. He's really been terrible for a while now. But he hit a home run last night and he hit a home run last week. I guess that's good enough. But he's the one I don't think I have him anywhere in my stacks on DraftKings. I think he's a good play on FanDuel at 3,200.
Do you have Trey Turner?
I love Trey Turner. Just so you guys know, they also Eric Lauer, for whatever reason, it's the same thing I've said before about certain types of pitchers. He's the definition of that pitcher. Look at his numbers versus the Dodgers. It's crazy how good he has been. But those are it's just not large enough sample size with the current roster that they have out there. I know he's killed us for years, but I'm not gonna take that as gospel by any means. We didn't have Mookie for a lot of the time that he was killing us. So it's a sort of a different team, you
So
know.
your favorite Dodgers would be
Seager.
Seager, Taylor, Trey Turner.
No, Taylor's not one of my favorites.
Oh.
It would be Seager, Betts, Turner. Sorry, Seager, Turner, then Betts, then probably Muncy, then either Taylor or I actually like Pollock better, but I think Pollock loses at least one or two at bats tonight because they will make a defensive shift for him, in my opinion. The weird part is it's hard to figure out how they're going to do that because usually it's Taylor who comes in for him. That's why he keeps getting short at bats. I mean, the guy keeps hitting home runs, but he doesn't move well in the outfield. So once they get a lead, they tend to like to get him out of there. That's the one reason I'm not as into Pollock, that and the fact that he's an outfielder, and I like that you can use Chris Taylor at third base. I actually do like Justin Turner too. I just think 5,100, and I like third base on DraftKings. Like I said, I like Taylor. I like Donaldson a lot. I like Devers. I like what's his name, Moncada. I do have the White Sox stack too as a stack. I have 20% of Gavin Sheets, which tells you that I'm definitely stacking some White Sox.
That's what I was going to ask you. You had mentioned that you liked in your video that you liked Jimenez. So I was wondering if you were going to play some of the White Sox stack.
Yeah, Jimenez is my favorite. I think that 4,200 price tag is just like the perfect like underprice for him when he's himself, you know. And I think it's a great spot that I usually would target even heavier, and they might have even ended up as one of my favorite or my favorite stack today. But it is definitely concerning that they don't have anything to play for. That there could be, you know, they do weird things. They in a 6-run game earlier in the season because they've run away with the division for a while now. I had their team stacked and they were up by 6 runs, and I think it was the 7th innings it was going into the 7th innings after the 6th, and they pulled out 4 of their starters. And that's really weird to do in modern day baseball, 6 runs and with 3 innings to go. But they also felt like they'd wrapped the division up. So I see why they were doing it. But you've got loads of value today on this slate that makes it easier for me to get to Alcantara. You also have a lot of expensive bats that we want, but I mean, just individual value, I thought I would talk about for a second. Cause like Corey Dickerson, Siri, Calhoun, Lars Nootbaar, not to mention all of the whole outfield for St. Louis. Benintendi is too cheap, but he's not cheap. Kepler is cheap enough. Mixing in some Taylor, some Hunter Dozier. All these guys are just, you know, so cheap that it allows you to do stuff other places. Most of them are in the outfield. I don't love the catcher value as much as I have in the past, so I am playing a lot of Salvador Perez, and I'm playing a lot of Severino. I don't currently have a lineup, and I've got a lot of lineups out there with a Steven Matz, which is kind of scary because he's a good pitcher against a bad team. But I'm just going to go with the numbers and just say that he's the wrong play. If he gets there, I don't think he's going to be getting there with like 10 strikeouts. It's like he's going to go 7 innings with 7K or 8 innings with 7K, something like that. He's not going to go out there and strike out like 10 guys in 5 innings or something. He just doesn't have the ups. He has a 20% strikeout rate against righties. They have a 16% strikeout rate against lefties. I just have a hard time seeing him be great. But at the same time tonight, maybe not great is good enough. So that's the one thing I'm a little bit afraid of because do I think Erod is so much better than him? I think he's a much better play for tournaments, but I don't think I don't know. I'm struggling with that one, I guess.
Tell me more about this Corey Abbott.
I don't know. I mean, I just know that he's got a high strikeout rate in the minors and that he's pitched pretty poorly for the Cubs and hasn't struck anybody out yet. But they have nothing else to do. I mean, first of all, St. Louis is a completely viable stack, absolutely 100 million% viable stack. I'm just not finding them personally. I am playing a lot of Nootbaar, some Bader. That's most of it for me. But I think that there's enough upside on anybody who's 4K on the slate where we think the highest scoring pitchers might be in the 20s, the low 20s. If he gets 15, that means he's good. Like that means he's awesome, actually.
Okay.
So
did you get back at liking Hudson at all?
So nah, I have like one Hudson lineup. I wish he struck out more guys. It's the Cubs, so it's probably I should have a little more interest, but I don't know. I'm not really finding myself in that price tier very much. And like I said, there's a lot of value, but at the same time, you don't need all that much from your pitchers today, with the exception of Alcantara. I don't know. Even like Lynn. Like I think Lynn is a significantly worse play than Alcantara, regardless of what happens today. I'm being skeptical on it, but I am playing Lynn. Don't get me wrong, but all of my Lynn lineups have either Kershaw or Alcantara in them, so it's not like I'm preferring him over the other guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just think that if you're going to compare the two in terms of upside, you can literally look at the game log and know that Lynn will be limited to some extent. One of Lynn's great attributes in general historically is ground balls, and that he can throw 120 pitches. The 120 pitches is not existing in today, and he's been struggling at keeping the ball on the ground since the second half of the season. Otherwise, he would have run away with the Cy Young Award this year. He has not pitched well recently. He had one good outing against Boston a little while back, but you look at his starts. I mean, and some of these were when he was pitching, he was cruising against Boston, 5 innings, 9 Ks, 70 pitches, and they pull him. Yeah. And sure, we would love I would love 28 fantasy points from Lynn tonight, but they pulled him in that game that was a 1-run game at 70 pitches. Now, the last time out, they let him get back. They're letting him try to work into his playoff mode. So that means probably 90 to 100. But it takes away probably the ceiling of anything over 100. I'd be really surprised to see him throw over 100 pitches tonight. Like, shocked. Guys, drop in any questions or thoughts or ideas on the slate. I know everybody's in super football mode, but this is the last baseball slate of the year. It's one I'm going to sit by my computer, have my White Claw, and pay attention to, because if lineups are going to change, you're going to see players scratch too, and you're going to there's ultra volatility for everybody on the slate. There's no safe person. Like, anybody can get into trouble, or if anybody's arm feels a little bit sore, they're going to come out of it right away. Nobody's risking anything except for the few teams that really are, which is what partly scares me about Erod, because then you also have to worry about the possibility of these guys getting pulled. And I think there's a real good possibility of any struggles, we're going straight to that bullpen. They're in must-win mode, you know? At the same time, the matchup and everything else is leaning me towards that Erod's a better play than Gonzalez. But because Marco Gonzalez is the same thing. He's got an easier matchup, but he's a much better strikeout pitcher than Marco is.
Which one's better?
Erod.
Yeah.
But
you playing any Suarez? You playing any Suarez? The Angel Suarez?
No, I thought about it, and I think that it might even not be the worst idea. But I just didn't quite end up again in that price tier. I sort of like, I'm debating if I want to try a lineup where I go all the way down with Abbott, and if I do, I'll probably pair him with my other lower price pitchers and just go for the points with the bats, with the Dodgers or something, Dodger stack with. I think the Yankees, like I'm telling you again, I don't love the Yankees stack, but I think that there is some merit to playing like the Yankees. Every one-off there, like, is a great one-off, basically. The only guy I wouldn't play Higashioka as a one-off anyway, but I don't think he's going to be in the whole game. So, but yeah, I can go through some ownership percentage. I mean, I've got 30% of Buxton, 30% of Jimenez, 20% of Kepler on DraftKings, like 35% of them on FanDuel, 30% Calhoun, 20%, which will be less. So it'll probably end up 25% at Calhoun. Corey Dickerson, I have at 20%. Simeon, 30%. Guerrero, 30%. Jansen, 30%. That's obviously Toronto stacks. 20% Espanol. 15% Espanol. 15% of Biggio. I think Biggio is the better play, but it's just you save a little bit of money the other way.
What you mentioned in the Discord, I don't want to switch sports too much, but that there was like wide receiver stuff that opened up. What happened?
I think Julio Jones is out too now, so now you're missing 1 and 2 for Tennessee. And Washington, I believe, I don't know who was out for Washington, that somebody is out, and it looks like Curtis Samuel will play. And so he's going to be a good value play, which it's just interesting because we haven't had any value at receiver all season.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to update all that stuff Saturday probably, and I'll join you. I think I'm going to join you Sunday.
I hope you join us Sunday. It's good. Somebody's going to win something one of these times. I think we've got a good group. The three of us are a good group.
Yeah. I think I'm going to join you. I know I have plans at some point Sunday. I don't know whether it's earlier or later. So if I'm around, I'll do it. That's for sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. I do love this. I mean, look, you can get different by not even playing the whole Dodger stack. I don't think anyone is going. I really don't think the ownership on, especially the lefties, are going to be existing at all. So I would encourage people to try to do some of that. Oh, I forgot about Brent Rooker is also another great value today. Bradley Zimmer, Lars Nootbaar. I already mentioned Nootbaar, but Cole Calhoun. There's just so many guys who, I mean, these are like, Cole Calhoun is a double home run threat. You know, Lars Nootbaar just hit 2 home runs the other day. Harold Ramirez is 2,400 and he's got power. There's just a lot of these guys who grade out similarly, where some of them probably have the day you're looking for to help you.
Any questions out there? Or,
No Chris Bryant in the lineup for the Giants today. That's weird.
Huh.
Are they getting too cocky? They might be getting a little too cocky.
Maybe he's hurt.
I mean, he must be, because they're facing a lefty, and they're 2 games away from their magic number is 2. I don't really know what's going on there. I didn't notice any questions. Let's see. Oh, if you're skeptical of Lynn not having too much, my ideal SP. So I actually no. Like I like Lynn enough because of the value. But like I said, I would just be playing Lynn with Alcantara. I don't have Lynn in any lineups without Alcantara or Kershaw. None. So that's.
So you're either doing Lynn with a double pay up or not at all.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm not betting on him being better than the other guys. He could be. He's got the ability to. It's Detroit, you know.
But you still think they're going to let him do it?
I mean, we just saw them not let him do it. So it's confusing to me why the last game of the season you'd have your ace pitcher.
Right.
His last start of the season. I think you'd want to get 90 out of him though, and that might be good enough. I don't think you'd want to get much more than 90 if it was me wondering. I mean, they did let him ramp back up and throw 100. I don't know why. It's so weird how this works in this modern day baseball. Like these pitchers only throw 105, 110 pitches when they give up 6 runs. Like I don't really understand it, but that's what they let him do. Probably because they were ramping him up for the playoffs, so that you could take that and go, okay, maybe he throws 100. Whereas Alcantara, who I'm not saying his leash is much longer. I'm saying, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lynn was like out after 75. Probably going to be 90, but Alcantara can throw 120. And he's a better strikeout pitcher, and he's been a significantly better pitcher. So I can't say who the exact ideal combination is, because I just said this is a great day to spread out. You want multiple combinations. So I like the double pay up route. Is the Alcantara and Lynn would be my favorite of the double pay ups. I like the Suarez Rodriguez combination, or the Suarez Gonzalez, or the Rodriguez Gonzalez. Those are my guys I would be using. Those are the 5 pitchers I'm using the most. And I think Tyler McGill and Husker Ynoa both have the upside to be in play.
Because of in part because of Bill Miller.
In part because of Bill Miller. Also, that's a terrible lineup. Even though I know it looks tempting to you and the projections would love it. That's the thing, Cheats, is even you know how it goes. Even when a terrible lineup is released, it's really not a terrible lineup. You know what I mean? Because it's just baseball. Anything can happen in one day of baseball. So the Mets are really cheap because of that. Yeah. But they're just not nearly as strong of a lineup on a full slate for me to.
Right. No, that makes sense. Do you have any outstanding season-long baseball bets?
No, I didn't make the preseason bets because the Dodgers to me were so much. The problem with baseball is I don't like worlds. In basketball, the best team usually wins. Injuries and stuff happen, but in baseball, it's the actual measurement would never be, if you really wanted to figure out who the best team was, you would never play a 1-card wild card game thing. You would never play a 3 out of a 5 or a 4 out of a 7. It would be like a 7 out of a 13, a 9 out of 15. You know what I mean? It's just so 9 out of 17, because you really have to play a lot of games to really see who's better.
Right.
At least the way I look at it.
And there are no Cy. I was wondering if you did any Cy Young stuff or anything like that.
I just realized I have one Kershaw with Tyler McGill, so I sort of broke my double spend up there. But Tyler McGill's pretty high priced. What were you saying, those Sheets? I was just.
I was wondering if there was any action in Cy Young, or you do any of that stuff.
No, I did. I considered. I mean, it wouldn't have worked, but I would have considered betting Seager for MVP before the season.
I definitely would have done that.
I think, but that's a pretty good bet all the time. The guy is bet. This is his fourth healthy season. I think he's come in the top 3 of MVP voting 3 times in his previous 3 years that he's played. So
Oh yeah,
certainly viable.
because I seem to recall at the beginning of the season we did like a baseball preview. I was wondering what. I remember I said that the Dodgers would win 110 games.
You said they would break the win record.
Yeah, and they would have if Bauer was there, I think.
Well, first of all, not only that, they would have probably if everybody was healthy, and if for some reason Cody Bellinger didn't turn into like the worst hitter in baseball from being the best, they would have.
Right.
I mean, this team was, what were they, 31 and 30 or something at one point, and they basically haven't barely lost since then.
Right. I'll tell you, I'm a little disappointed in the Padres though this year.
Look who they have to play though, 36 times.
Yeah, I guess so.
They just got beat up by both the Dodgers and Giants. They're just not as good. You know what I mean? They're just another tier down.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the nuts though. No, I don't remember what people thought. I thought that people really had high hopes for them this year.
They did. Absolutely. But nobody thought the Giants would be good. If you want to make if anybody wants to make a good bet for next year, it's a good time to do it. You'll probably get incredible odds. Bet on the Twins.
Really?
I think the Twins have a lot of talent, a lot more talent than people realize.
How about the Braves?
The Braves are already one of the favorites.
Oh, okay.
They'll be one of the favorites every year. The Twins will be like, you get the Braves at like 12-1, you get the Twins at like 50-1, probably, maybe worse. Not worse than that.
Hey, I have a question. I don't know why I was thinking about this. Is Justin Verlander retired, or is he going to come back? You know anything about that?
I actually can't remember. I looked into that.
I know he had some terrible surgery. And
yeah, I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah. I don't know if he knows what he's going to do either.
Yeah, I guess so. And it was also obviously unfortunate the Mets lost to DeGrom.
Oh yeah, the Mets would have been. That division's a lot better than people think as well. But I don't think the Mets. I think the Mets would be another team that you wouldn't get great odds on.
Right. Yeah. Well, because everybody knows about DeGrom. You know?
Yeah. There's other teams I would take shots on for next year. Kansas City being one of them. Because all you'd have to do is be good enough to pick up a couple pitchers at the All-Star break that can carry you. You know. And that happens every year. Boston, like I said, the year Boston won the World Series, when in addition to the cheating they built their whole rotation. They had 4 of their 5 starting pitchers were guys they got at the All-Star break because they were better than they thought they were going to be. So you just have to be good. What you're really betting on is, can this team that they have a good enough lineup to be good enough for 75 games? And then if they are, you could have a totally different pitching staff or add a couple hitters. And look what the Dodgers did this year. They managed to swing. If you could add Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, who are both top 20 players in the entire league, that's pretty crazy. Right. Basketball is like that to a slightly lesser extent, but still has some elements of it like that. I'd really like to see a San Diego lineup to see if I can pull the trigger on this other move. It does seem. I think I'm going to do the Abbott thing.
Really?
In one lineup, I think so. I think there's enough upside there. It doesn't need to be much, though. So you're really betting against the top level pitchers, right? Because even if he just puts up 10 fantasy points, like, that's not the worst thing in the world if you get your stack right.
Right. Okay.
You play the expensive White Sox or the Dodgers or something, or the Red Sox and Dodgers and whatever, something like that. But the baseball shows really die down at the end of the year. People really get football focused.
And the Friday too.
But Fridays we've had some pretty busy shows in the past.
Yeah. So what do you What are you liking in football? Anything changed?
Not yet. I like. I think that the Arizona side of that game is going to be underowned. I mean, people are
Really?
pointing to Jalen Ramsey shut down DeAndre Hopkins. They're forgetting the times that he hasn't.
Oh, right.
And also, they used an example on one show I was listening to where they talked about last year. I was like, Hopkins didn't even play in that game. So he's only had one game with the Cardinals, but he did it 2 years ago. And he beat the hell out of Ramsey. But I do think Ramsey is awesome, so it feels weird. Oh, another bat that popped up that no one would have had in projected lineup because we got the weird Braves lineup tonight. But Jock Peterson leading off at 3,700 and then 2,300 on FanDuel.
I saw that.
That's a great price, great play.
Let me see something. Just while I had time, I'll do an update on the football as well. Yeah, it still looks like you want to play, if you could, Kamara and or Henry.
See, I'm not getting I'm not getting to those guys.
Okay.
Because of where they're at.
I'll tell you who the low owned guy that's popping for me here is Aaron Jones.
Interesting. I like that actually a little bit, but I do think Pittsburgh's defense that's their strong suit. But
it's a pretty badass leverage off of Devontae Adams too.
Yeah, I love Devontae Adams this week though.
Oh yeah, well, of course.
I mean, I know it's obvious. I'm just saying I do.
So what else do I have? At wide receiver, well, tight end is, oh my God, like Kelsey looks, just so much better than everybody else.
I know it's a tough one to fade. That's what I'm mostly doing. I mean, that's going to be my main. Look, I know it's not going to. It doesn't care. I don't care if it's entirely off the board. But most of my lineups well, not most. 40% of my lineups that I've built so far start off with Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes.
It also looks like
narrows down the rest of your options.
By the way, did you do a video with Rhodey or no?
No, I asked him what time today, and I still haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm waiting.
Okay. A wide receiver, like I'm looking, and well, I mean, I'm looking at some low-owned guys. I mean, if Tyreek Hill is really only going to be 10%, I'm going to take that. But
yeah,
is CeeDee Lamb really going to be less than 10%? The two guys I have, again, these are
yes, he will because of the price range. But I love CeeDee Lamb. I'm totally with you on that play.
And the other one, I'm just pointing out lower owned guys that I like, and that's Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a great play.
Yeah,
probably hurts him a little bit that you're going to have Curtis Samuel this week. Only because there's another receiver that the secondary receiver that Curtis Samuel's a really good secondary receiver. He's had monster. I mean, last year, remember, I think it was last year or was the year before against Carolina. We just made a fortune off of that guy because
I remember that.
You'd be underpriced, and then all of a sudden when they make him near the price of more, you just play more then, and then more. It just happened to work out every week. They would go off at the time you want them to.
Yeah, it looks like my best teams to stack. It's first of all, it's Kansas City, and then it's the same guys. It's Rams, Cowboys, Buffalo, Seattle.
Rams, Cowboys, Buffalo, Seattle. Yeah. I mean, Kansas City, this is also I think narratives really do matter in certain times, and with where they're at 1 and 2, and they have a long ways to go. Like they could win the rest of their games and not most likely they win the division then, but they could still potentially not win the division and win the rest of their games. And I think they also want to just stop somebody after what's been happening. I think Philadelphia is a better team than they'll probably look like on Sunday. But I think you're going to get the best effort. I mean, it's so fluky how they lost last week, Kansas City, with those 3 turnovers in the red zone to start the game. Like that's a really hard thing to come back from. And by halftime, you have all of the time of possession, all the time they were eating up the clock and moving methodically. I just think they're going to say F it and just start bombs away again.
I guess. Let's see something. Running backs. The Chubba Hubbard is going to be popular, I think. Or maybe
Oddly
not.
enough, there's a chance he maybe should be more popular.
Yeah, he might not be. He's showing up as a really good value for me, and I only have him at 10% ownership. Is that
Yeah,
possible?
because people are all going to play Montgomery because of the better seeming game script. But
Montgomery, he's a little bit better play, but not for like twice the ownership. I mean,
right. And just to say two things, Chubba Hubbard's really talented. First of all, he is a rookie, so a fumble could cost him. Like you could be done after the first quarter, and he could be doing something different. But the way that Carolina uses their running backs in the passing game and just in general, because they're built around McCaffrey, that you're going to get some usage that way. So we saw Mike Davis last year have 3 like slate breaking performances, and again, that's Mike Davis. This guy's actually like can move. Got himself a new contract though in Atlanta because of it.
Is this Chubba Hubbard?
No, Mike Davis.
Mike Davis.
To be the backup running back in Atlanta to my man Cordarrelle Patterson. That's a joke.
You probably have to play him. I mean, I'm told he's going to be forced in.
No, people aren't going to play him.
No, I'm forcing him in. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You got to just force him in. It's just playing him over Davis and then over the guy's
right. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm just playing him. He's going to catch seven balls. I mean, like.
I agree with you. So I'm not gonna argue with you on it because I totally agree.
Yeah, whatever. And then let him catch 7 balls and let Mike Davis be the chalk again the following week. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
exactly. So. I mean, there is a path because there will be a game where as long as the prices stay like this, where it's going to be viable, and I think it's viable this week. You could play both of those guys together.
Really?
Because they're not both running back. I mean, that's the thing that's why I like the appeal of Cordarrelle Patterson. Because he has, first of all, he can also kick off. He could return a punt or a kickoff, even though he's not returning as many as he used to. And you've got him as a wide receiver, lined up as a wide receiver. So he can get the receiving points and Davis can get the running back points. It doesn't really matter. But you need to know that game is going to be like a shootout. Like if they're playing Kansas City or something, that would be the time to do it.
Hey, I want to talk about last night's game for a minute. I mean, forget the fact that I'm totally survivor blessed.
Yeah, I was worried about that one for you guys.
Totally survivor blessed. But you know what was interesting about that game? There wasn't a single turnover.
There was not a single turnover. That is weird.
And how about there wasn't a single turnover with a second-year and rookie quarterback?
Very weird.
And Joe Mixon looked hurt at the end of the game, by the way.
Yeah. I thought that it was, when Shark went down, I kind of just gave up on the night, so I didn't watch the whole thing.
Right.
It's always frustrating when the guy you roster gets
hurt. Dude, what's his name went freaking ballistic, the CJ Uzomah.
Uzomah, yeah, I know. And I
don't know if you noticed it, you stopped watching the game, but a semi-chalky Auden Tate got completely overlooked for an easy touchdown. I don't know if you saw this.
No, I missed it.
It was 3rd down and goal on the half-yard line, okay, or the 1-yard line, and Burrow lined up over center, and he tried a quarterback sneak, okay, and he didn't get in by like a centimeter, but Auden Tate was literally all by himself on the left as a wideout, and all Burrow had to do was look over there and take the snap and throw it to him, but he didn't even bother looking.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I do it. By the way, I'm playing Mania in a couple lineups.
Yeah.
It's a terrible hitters umpire, but like Houston released the kind of lineup I thought they would. And as much as I like Siri, by the way, like I mentioned, but like as much as I may like some of these hitters and we've used them all and stuff, this is not their A+ lineup. There's no Jose Altuve. They even played. I don't think any of the outfield normies are there for them. Oh no, Jordan's playing, but it's lefty. And by the way, even against the good version of this team, Mania just pitched a really good game against them, or a good game against them. No, it was a really good game. Kyle Tucker's out, but I mean, again, lefty, but he's out. I think I'm going to hate myself too much if I don't play any of the gray. So I'm going to have to do it in a line. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll play my Mania with my gray, and I'll have my chalky KC stack in that one.
Fortunately, by the way, I'm pretty sure I don't have to play. Maybe I do. Hope not. Chicago. The Cubs. I mean the Bears. Yeah, I don't think I have to do that. Whew, thank God. I thought I was gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have to. Yay. Oh, I do. You know what? I actually do have this updated for the Samuel thing, and that could be a fun thing, by the way.
Well, it's going to open up things. It's going to be popular-ish with the lineups that have Henry or Kamara.
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. You think like the full Washington stack's gonna be popular?
No, that would be something you could do.
The Heineke, Samuel, McLaurin all together.
I couldn't. There's nothing I think is no. I'm sorry to say it. Like, I just they're going to get absolutely rolled. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't score a point.
Who do they play?
They're playing aren't they playing the Bills, or did I get my weeks mixed up here?
No, I don't think they play the Bills.
I'm in baseball mode. No, sorry, that was last week.
I think they'll play Houston.
They did get shut out last week. No, they're not playing Houston.
No.
No, Houston is what's it called? That's the biggest spread on the slate.
Yeah, they play Buffalo. I think. No.
Oh, they do play Buffalo. Yeah. No, then I stand by what I said.
What are you saying now?
That Buffalo moves not that they may not score a point. Oh no, they're playing Atlanta. Yeah, against Atlanta, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was looking at I'm sorry. I have for some reason I was looking at my last week's thing. I don't know why it's on my screen, but
yeah, Buffalo plays Houston. Houston might not score a point against Buffalo.
Oh, I thought you were saying Washington was playing Houston. That's why I was confused.
No. I was wondering what. No. You said Washington's playing Buffalo. I know they're playing Houston. I meant the Buffalo.
Yeah, it was just a mix-up. Yeah.
Anyway, Washington's playing Atlanta. I have no problem stacking Washington against Atlanta. By the way,
Hey, and by the way, you have a Cordarrelle Patterson to run it back with. Come on.
No, forget that. We'll check this out. So here's what I'm sharing my screen. So let's say we do Taylor Heineke, McLaurin, and then where's Samuel? What's his price? Like 2 cents?
3.
Oh, $3K. All right, then we get to play Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
And then we get to play Cordarrelle Patterson. And then we're going to be leaving, what, 8,000 on the table? Let's see.
You have to immediately, if you're playing that lineup, you absolutely have to play Kelsey at tight end.
We're playing Henry. We're playing Kelsey. Dude, and this is not exactly like, you know what I mean? Like, I still have to only spend $5,400 with two players.
You might be watching the millionaire winning lineup right here.
Of course.
This is the kind of stuff that could win it. I mean, I don't disagree with you, actually.
You know?
It's going to be hard for me to pull the trigger on it with so many options, but I think that's actually kind of interesting. You know what's funny about that though? Instead of playing Heineke, why don't you use Gibson as one of your running backs and use both receivers and skip Heineke and just play?
Play Patrick Ryan. I mean, Matt Ryan instead.
Oh, I don't even know if I could do that. He looks so broken, and I've always been like he's always been a fantasy like darling because everybody talks about how bad he looks all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but he's still throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, yeah, he had 3 picks, big deal. I'll take the minus 3 points going into it. You know.
Who's a good random value play at flex this week? Is there anybody like is there any 3K guy at flex or something or no?
Westbrook, Hines, and Samuel. Westbrook Hines is
who?
Westbrook. I can't pronounce his name. Just look up Westbrook. I always have trouble pronouncing his name.
Edie Westbrook? Oh,
no.
The guy from Tennessee?
Yeah, because Tennessee has he's now should be their default number 1 receiver.
Oh,
Basically, any receiver.
Westbrook get kind? Oh, love that.
His name is Westbrook, so that's good enough for me. So my mind just gravitates toward it. By the way, talk about bets. I can't bet on them this year because they're too big a favorite. They're too, tied for big of favorites. But I'll tell you right now, if someone told me the Lakers are playing the Nets right now, if they were going to be healthy for the season, not even if they're playing the Nets, if the Lakers were going to be healthy this season, I would say I would take 5-1 against me. I don't think that there's a way the Lakers aren't winning the title. But being healthy is a big question mark when your average age is like 34 in basketball. I think the Lakers are so much better than the Nets are.
You think the Lakers are so much better than the Nets? The thing with the Nets and the Lakers, for that matter, is so much of this depends on their freaking injuries,
Yeah, but like we have Anthony Davis, and that's obviously a huge piece. So and he has injury problems for sure. But they have 3 guys who all have been suffering major injuries over the last years. And 2 who really have, like, I mean, Kevin Durant and Kyrie, it would be foolish to assume those guys would be healthy.
Right.
Or not that Kyrie doesn't decide all of a sudden that he wants to go on an anti-vax campaign and spend his life doing that instead. That's on the table.
That is so on the table.
It's like it's right there.
That is like a lot to happen.
Did you see the? Oh my God, the media day yesterday at the NBA was crazy. I love the NBA more than anything. By the way, guys, if you don't even subscribe for us now, I will find ways to create all kinds of new content. I love the NBA so much more than I love anything else. And these guys, though, it was all about the vaccine. And the players just, I mean, I'm just like, God, who is your advisor? Do not talk about this. Like, I would have just redirected questions and they just kept trying to answer it. And it's not a good look. And LeBron is going to have to,
after all that, by the way, after all that golf stuff, everything looks so good. I think I'm going to have one lineup at 6 for 6.
You know what's crazy? I think that's going to put you in like a 1%er. I don't think hardly anybody's getting 6 for 6 this week.
Hey, this is what I have. This is what I have at 6 for 6, including Sam the discount man, Sam Ryder.
Sam Ryder. I loved it. I played Sam Ryder a little bit because we talked about him. Who's the Canadian one? I can't see.
Moore.
Oh, it's Moore.
Yeah. And John Hutt, 0.3%.
There's Rhodey. John Hutt made it?
0.3%. He got -5 today.
Oh, my God. Boy, how about Zalatoris, though? Jesus.
Oh, man.
What a round. I thought he was going to break the record for a minute.
61.
just a casual 61. I mean, he was like, I don't know. It was rolling. He actually missed a couple.
What's going to be the thing, by the way? Is it going to be -5?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
At least last time I checked, it was like 99%. Yeah, 99%.
Okay.
Oh, Nick Watney tied him up. Jesus, Nick Watney. Get out of here.
Of course.
This freaking tournament, this ridiculous tournament. What a joke. Little would like San Diego's lineup for 2 reasons. One, I have Tatis in one of my biggest buy-in lineups, and one, I want to play DeSclafani in my other lineups. Yeah, I thought Sheets. I thought I was made in the shade in my driver early on. My only player going was him. I had everybody else at -4 or better after day 1, and it looked like it was going to be a lock.
Wait, I lied. I have another one. Here's another one.
Oh my God, I almost got it here.
Here's another one that's 6 for 6, but this is not going anywhere. This is
if you have 6 of 6, there's no way you're not cashing this week.
Right, but this is not going anywhere, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Actually, this is pretty much true every week, I guess.
Yeah.
No more questions, it looks like, from anybody, so we can keep talking about whatever we want.
Yeah. Yeah, like these are like my top 2. Like one, and my top one is literally 50 points ahead of my second one.
What the hell happened to Patton Kizzire today? Jeez.
Oh, the general was called in for questioning.
How about Gary Woodland? He's 99.6% to make the cut, and then he goes bogey, and drops down to 4.
Yeah, there's always that 0.4, right?
Freaking hell. So frustrating. Last game. Do you know who's gonna? This is so sick. No, is that right? Is that 6 of 6? No. Got Kizzire. Never mind. I didn't even see him there. It would have been funny because I had Emmanuel. Had to put Grillo into one lineup just in case because he did make the cut. But I thought Siwoo was going to be. I thought I was going to be boosting up my Siwoo play for a while today. He was looking great, and then he sort of.
God love this guy, this D Campbell. Look at this lineup. He's in 7th place. Look at these ownerships. This is awesome.
I love it.
Who are these people? Who the hell are all these people? Actually, this one's not going to make it. C93. Shit. Okay.
Oh, there you go. I missed it. How many of those guys actually are getting 6 of 6? Actually,
no. This one, Brandon Chastain is the nuts here. Let's see.
And our boy Ramey even caught fire today. And by the way,
he sure did.
I played the wrong Moore in the lineup.
Oh no!
Even he made it too.
Oh, did he?
6 under.
So first place, he's not 6 for 6 because he had the universe play in Shank. This one, Woodland. Oh, this guy. Oh my God, this guy's gonna kill himself. The Doc had Woodland and everybody else. He has T1. He had Watney with Zalatoris and Thigala, and he didn't make 6 for 6 because he had Woodland. Oh.
That's really brutal for that guy because I felt the Woodland pain. I already felt the Woodland pain today.
And it looks as though this is like his only lineup, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes when
Yeah.
they say their name, just
Oh,
doesn't mean
yeah.
it's their only lineup.
Oh, it doesn't mean that?
So it doesn't always, no, because that could be
Okay.
their first load. It could just be the way that they're organized. I
All right,
don't
this
understand exactly
this guy's got a clean 6 for 6. Yeah, this guy's of course C Young, whoever that was. And here's another guy with the Buckley. I never heard of him. Yes, where's Kenny? Kenny's got to tell us about these guys.
He didn't know who a lot of these guys were.
If Kenny doesn't know them, they don't exist.
Well, because he wasn't playing this week. If he did, he would have spent a million hours researching every tournament they played.
Right, right.
But you don't understand. This guy once was third at an event where there was like the sun was coming from the same angle.
Yeah, but you know, like this guy, like T White, for example, this lineup, like he missed. He has all these T1s, and he missed because he had like Augustine didn't make the cut. He's not allowed to really complain, right? He's like, oh, if only Augustine had done better. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but the Woodland thing is a real thing because it was
right,
like
the Woodland thing's that's a bad one. That's
he made it, then he just didn't. He forgot to make it, and then also the cut had to go to -5. It still looked like he was at one point, even afterwards, he was still 90% to make it. So,
well, how good is this guy? The D. Chef Walker had all this crap, and he needed L. Hodges, and L. Hodges made a -5 today to get there.
oh, nice.
Good for that guy.
I don't know who the Hodges is.
I know who knows who any of these people are. That's why no one's 6 for 6 this week.
I don't think. I mean, I really wonder what the odds are. I wish we had the thing on there.
Yeah,
but,
we got it. I got that.
okay, well, check it out. See how many people are getting. I don't think it's going to be high.
I got the cut sweat somewhere.
It's not going to be less than 1/4% the week that Grillo didn't make it, and that would have got me 6 for 6. It was like 1/4% that
How
made
do I
it.
do this? Oh, here are the 6 for 6s. 4% in the snowman. About 4% across the board. 4% of lineups.
Yeah, it's more than I would have thought. That's what I thought was going to be coming into the day too, and I mean around there. But I didn't think all these guys were going to fall apart. Although actually Matt Wolf bounced back after it looked like he was dead because he was playing terrible.
And I got I could have just gone here to see what I got. So yeah, so I got 2 that are 6 for 6, and that's the ones that I identified earlier.
Yeah. McGill.
Do I have any 2 for 6s? No, I got a couple of 3s though. I got a bunch of 3s. Oh my god, like half my lineups are 3 for 6.
Oh, all of mine are. I don't have that bad. I'm like 4 for 6 or 5 for 6 in most.
Oh, really?
But Woodland I had 30% of, and Kazire I had like 50% of. So that's.
Yeah, for those that those don't know what this is, cutsweats.com. This is it's what it is. It's a totally awesome sweat site. I mean, it gives you all this percent. Just gives you the percentages of guys that are in the of your lineups, of everybody's lineups that are within the cut, and also yours. So I put in like my screen name in here. So whenever I log in, it has all my lineups and how many are inside the cut and all this stuff. So it's definitely a fun site.
Yeah,
and you get the leaderboard up here. Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, guys. No other questions.
There's nothing.
I'm going to get going.
All right. Well, good luck. Have a good night, Sheets.
Yep.
And yeah, good luck, everybody.
Yep. And oh, by the way, public PSAs. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on the weekend. Obviously, there'll be multiple NASCAR sheets posted, multiple MMA breakdowns already put up there. We'll have an updated set of projections for that, and football. Stace, when are we going Sunday? When are we playing Sunday?
We're leaving at like 12.
Okay, I'm probably not going to be. Maybe I'll come on for a little bit Sunday, and then I'm out for the day. I'll let you know.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, have a great weekend.
Okay.
Good luck, everybody.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Okay.